Okay, are we up? Are we up? What a morning, what a morning. Oi, 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 oi. Made it!
マスクマスク。
もう今日バタバタバタバタバタバタバタバタ。
ですね。
Insane, insane, insane. I made it, I made it. I got here by 8 o'clock. Okay, ごめん。
朝から。
すぐさん、Good morning. はいはいはいはいはい。
おはようございます。
今日何色ですか？ここにいる。
今日はね、オレンジ色手前の一番最初にスローとしてたバッグのあれすります。
She's doing the new prints, the Delight prints. She's doing a batch of them. She's the second printer through. Lei-chan's group is finished. They're in the drying boards.
あ、もう干してあるんだ。
そう、干してある。だから、maybe remind me at the end of the stream. I'll go and steal one. They're in the drying boards. I'll go and steal one. We can see the first batch coming out. Sugu-san has done. 今何色できた？今
5色ぐらいかな。
She's finished about 5 colors. She's going to be going through. And then Ishikawa-san is also, she's already started a batch. So they're working, what do you call it? 重ねてやってますね。
ね、バラバラに今50枚ずつ
They're doing it together. So they're passing the blocks. They sit back to back. They're passing the blocks back and forth. すぐさん、今の質問ありますが、今年のシリーズのスリ、今までの何年の間のものと比べるとどう変わりますか？どのように？
今までのにジェドさんの今までのに比べるとやっぱり
Compared to what Jed did so far,
見当が一番今までの
the registration is really tight.
色がジェドさんの今まで色が重なるそれがすごく注意点だったんですけど
So Jed's recent prints, they've got so many stacked colors that's been difficult to print them properly.
今回の今年のやつは見当が一番問題、注意点が
This year's print, it's the registration that is absolutely number one. There isn't many stacked colors. The 重ねがあんまりないです。So it's more like traditional ukiyo-e. So ukiyo-e みたいな
スタイルだね。そうですね。浮世絵スタイル。本当そう。
This is one worn out cup, but the deal is it's got my name on it. The problem is people clean up. You know, they wash and they clean up and they wash and they clean up and I'm like, leave this thing alone. I need it for the weight for this thing. It's not for my lunch, it's for my weight. So.
飲むデイビッドさんの専用。そんな。名前が出てくるね。
We've got another one. It's my cup. It's my cup. It's my cup. And it's marked Dosayo for the use of only sizing. Don't use it for pancakes. Okay, I've got to cook this stuff up. I've got to wait till she gets out of the way though. So give me a minute. What a morning. What a morning. What a morning. Okay, there is a new noise in the background. We are next to, right here, through that wall is the third floor bathroom, which we built here. There was a tiny squatter toilet in the corner, which we turned into a shower, and we built a brand new bathroom. And in there is the washing machine. And my laundry for this week is now running. It'll take about 30 minutes and then it'll be finished. So that's the gook, and you'll hear the rinse and all the other stuff going on. Okay, the mic is here in front of me. It's plugged into the computer, but I now have to go and head over to the other side to do some cooking. So I'm going to check out, did I have time to swim this morning? That's why I did a full kilometer this morning. I wasn't supposed to. On Mondays, I'm supposed to do half a kilometer, but I was going well and I did a full kilometer. Okay, I'm going to check out. You guys take care of yourself for 5 minutes. I'm going to swivel the camera. I'm going to cook some stuff and bring it back. Take care of yourself. gone now, I can take this off. Liquid breakfast this morning. Lawson's finest. Okay, we're going to warm that stuff up for a minute. The left-hand pan is going to go to boiling. In that small pan, we're going to melt the alum. The right-hand pan is going to be on very low heat. We're just going to heat the water with the glue in it to about 50 or 60. I soaked it last night. I prepared 1 liter of water last night and soaked the nikawa, so it will melt this morning very, very easily. But I've got to keep stirring it. In an ideal situation, if we had just a sizing workshop with nothing else, we would have a big double boiler there. I've got the heat at the moment underneath the pan that the glue is in, and that's not good, I think. It should be in a double boiler. That's the way the glue will be in a minute. After we make it, we will put it into a double boiler for doing the sizing itself. Okay, while we're waiting on this, there's bits and pieces of news that I should pass out today. In the last stream, I showed you a letter from NHK. They are coming to film us. The plan has changed. I mentioned that it's going to be on Thursday this week. They've postponed. This happens a lot. They found out there's lots more interesting stuff than they thought was here, so they have now planned a little bit expanded version of the program, I guess. I'm not quite sure. They are coming 1 week from today. Right now on this stream, I'll be downstairs carving. 1 week from now, it will be a guest stream, and the NHK cameras will be watching it. And they will be watching your chat, and maybe the lady will be participating. That's happening 1 week from today. That's the plan, anyway, if it doesn't change again. Okay, get serious now. Okay, the alum is now dissolved, and we're going to mix it in. Again, we do them separately because the alum needs a higher temperature to dissolve. It dissolves close to boiling there. It all dissolves in seconds. But I can't bring the glue up close to boiling. It breaks down to whatever it is, collagen or something. So we don't bring the glue anywhere past 60 would be max, I think. And we've got the double boiler set for 50. 50 centigrade is the temperature that we have the glue for putting on. Okay, it's almost ready. Ooh, That is around right. Okay. Okay, give me a 5-minute count, please. They're in together. Give me 5 minutes. We can pour it in and get started. And there today, there's our alternate camera, the camera that we normally put outside. It's shooting down the length of the bench today. We're going to have this switch set up. Let's see if I can switch it around partway through. So you'll see the brush moving down here. That's focused in a bit too close, I think. Maybe that's the alternate camera looking down the bench. But I'm also seeing on that one, I'm seeing jerky video. I don't know why. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened. Can I look into this? The second camera, we're getting a strange low FPS on it. Hang on a sec. That's this one. Let me look at the specs. Tell you what, it's set for 1080. We don't need 1080 on that little camera, so hang on a sec. Let me pull that one down to 720, FPS 30. Let's switch again. Oh, I see. It's giving me no, we can't do it that way. Okay, come in. We can't do it that way. I don't know. Sorry, I really don't know. Can't muck with it too much during the stream. When if the signal is there, there it is, in there, in there. Cables are in. The computer itself has more than enough horsepower to run this. How's our time? We're not 5 minutes yet to show. Sugi-san is working on that batch of prints for this year's series, and I am filming every step of the way. I'm doing the Cameron job. She's been calling me every time she gets a new color started. She gets up and running on it, and she phones me or sends me an email depending on where I am. And I've been coming up and filming her. So the next video, I thought it would be out at the end of the year with David doing that print, but the video was not good enough. The camera work was not good enough. So we're taking the time. The next video is showing her process mixed in with my process. It's going to be a long video. 2.5 more minutes. Okay. We're full live, no drop frames, everything looks good. Okay. The system has been warming up. There's a hot carpet on the table here. It's been on since 6 o'clock this morning. When I came up to take the paper out, the paper is out, I prepared the room. It's still January here, you know. This is the indoor temperature. It's, what are we at today? 12 something, and very dry, very dry. I'm gonna have to really be careful. When I hang this paper up today, if I don't shroud it, it'll dry in minutes and the printers will be really upset. When it dries too fast, the paper is hard and crispy and it's difficult to print. I did a batch yesterday morning, hung it up, and I shrouded it, and I put a mister in the room in that corner, and we'll do the same thing today. Someone says, you haven't got your December subscription print. Almost certainly, we have almost certainly sent them out on time, and almost certainly this is postal system delay. Cameron about it. Cameron doesn't work on the weekend, so if you emailed him 2 days ago, he's been gone to the world for 2 days, so just wait a couple of days. What country are you in? What country? We ourselves are on it. The shipping has been working really well. If you're in Australia, we're having real trouble again with Australia this week. 5 minutes up. Okay, thanks guys. You know what I'm going to do now. USA. Okay, there. Yeah, the USA stuff is also a little bit delayed. We've put them FedEx to the USA, but there's been, I'm not allowed to talk about this. There's been a slight delay at our USA office due to, you can guess what's going on over there. But anyway, so it is, they are going through, but please expect delays on the December packages. Sorry. There's been a delay due to, you know what. Okay, we are up and running. What's the view here? We need a bit more view of the dipping place. Pull that out a bit there. Move that a bit there. Is that going to be it? Is that the best place? You can see me dipping, you can see the brushing, you can see the brushing both ways. Hey. We're doing large paper today. This is the Takenaga paper, the one that I have the most trouble with. These are the large sheets. They're sheets about yay wide, and the sheets are about as full as the window you see there. I've cut them in half, and under here the paper too. The paper has been warming up for the past couple of hours here. These are half sheets, so the paper was, before I cut it, the paper was this size. I've cut it in half to make it more manageable. And what we're making today, these are going to be woodblock pilgrimage prints. From each one of these sheets, we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 small prints. And the prints coming out of this one, they are going to be the, I think it's the October or maybe November print in the woodblock pilgrimage series, the one with the lady sweeping the front and the cat sleeping on the doorstep. Evening Glow, Jed's contribution to our 8 views of cats. Try and catch all the questions here. What do we cut it with? We here are using a cutter knife. Traditionally, printers used a paper cutting cleaver. We don't have the skill to do that. It's extremely difficult to use. My excuse is that we don't have a left-hand model, which is actually true. No, we use cutter knives, and it's not good because when we use a cutter knife on the sheet, it slices and the corners of the sheet get pushed down a little bit as the knife goes through. If we use the cleaver, it would slice it off straight. Okay, brush. Oh, I should have been soaking the brush as well. Nanda. Which brush are we going to use today? Which brush? Which brush? I've got a bit of a conundrum here. The paper is really thick, needs a good batch of size. I have a brush with longer hair. It's long, it'll do the full width. I have a brush that's a little bit shorter, doesn't have hair quite long enough, but oh, I know how to use this. It drops the liquid just at my command. This one I struggle with. It's too big, it's too long, too much hair, too heavy, and I don't have the experience. But it carries enough liquid to do this job. The brush I can handle, the brush I haven't yet learned how to handle. But this one is clearly better for the job. 洗濯物も申し訳ないですね。
あ、洗濯物ね。やってるね。あ、ゴミ。なんか絵の具作んないといけないんだよな。
Let's live dangerously. Let's live dangerously. Let's put the big one in. What have I got to lose? 100 prints. People in, people out, mask in, mask off, I don't know. Makes a difference, I don't know. Okay, the brush has to soften up now because it's a hard brush. That was in the drawer, so give it a couple minutes. We're getting a good fast start today. So, how much is the paper worth? I've got, what sheets do I have here? Just a sec, I counted, didn't really count. I think we've got 14 sheets cut in half, so you're gonna give me 28. Those 14 sheets, they're about $30 each. So yeah, we've got a few $100s worth of paper here. So someone's talking about the new biceps, which don't exist yet. Laundry's ready, but no. Let's just stay here. This is going to take a minute. It's got to soak into that brush. Just give me a minute here. Sorry for the slow start today. We do have a show and tell today. A couple of things. I have a new show and tell, which is a kind of a small, nice little thing, but nothing special. But I also want to recap, look again at the stuff we opened the other day, because I have learned more about these prints. I got cards and letters from people who've been watching, giving me more information about those prints we showed in the last, stream. So the show and tell today will be a recap. It'll be looking at those prints again, plus a new small item. we should have a green tape stream. Everybody get your headphones on. Let's whisper green tape near the microphone. We should do that on stream. If I do an April Fool's stream, that's what it will be. Just unwrapping green tape and throwing it all around the room. Special large size. Come on, brush, let's go. Let's go. This thing is so heavy now. You load this up with liquid. It is so heavy. My God. Green tape ASMR with Dave. We'd probably explode the YouTube. do it in a hot tub. I don't think anybody wants to see me in a hot tub. So April Fool's, green tape, Bob Ross wig. We could set something up. we could melt the internet. Okay, come on. Let's get some work done. All right, this I'm laughing about this, but seriously, this is difficult. Hontoni, this is difficult. And this isn't helping, Mr. Camera here. You're not helping. What's also not helping is that this brush is a little bit too big for our hotel warmer here. Okay, let's go. Serious now. Let's go. I brushed a bit too much off. I took too much liquid out of the brush. It didn't leave enough liquid in there. Trying to get this right. It's a question of practice and experience here. Better. Go to the end. Okay. The moisture soaks through, but the glue doesn't. It's interesting. As it soaks from one to the next, it doesn't seem to take the glue with it. I don't really know why or how this works. The water seems to easily go through. Somebody was suggesting it's okay, if there wasn't enough on one of them, the glue will soak through from the next one. It doesn't seem to do that. That's a little bit light too. Let's touch just a tad more. I've got the corner here. Okay. Are we getting a good shine? Can you see it on the other one? No, I'm thinking that's how it seems to be working. I don't really know. I have no, clear view of what's happening at the molecular level here. I don't know. But the point being, when I know that I've got some that have too much and some that are not enough, I hear it from the printer also. Dave, there was a big variation, some of them were okay and some were not. And maybe it could be that the stacking time is not enough. In other words, I'm doing this, I'm going to do it, flip it, do it, and hang it up. If I could control this a bit better, I would like to hold it longer in the stack before hanging it up. And Misawa-san, the guy who I saw 35 years ago, the last professional sizer in town, he does do it this way because I watched him one morning. I sat there during the morning, all morning, while he did a stack of 100 sheets or so. It was done, he soaked his brush, we went for lunch and left it, and came back after lunch and he and his wife hung them up. So it was there for at least an hour after being brushed before hanging. So when Dave started doing the sizing by himself over in Ome, I copied what I had seen him do. It was an unmitigated disaster. They stuck together. And I tried it at different seasons, when it was soft in summer and when there was less glue in it in winter. And always, if I leave it too long, it sticks together. And I don't know the little magic touch that he had to make that happen. So that could be a big part of it. Sitting there for 1 hour, we've got that, like John was saying it, the moisture, whatever, soaks through the stack, and maybe the glue then maybe will even out through the sheets one by one. Sounds great. That's the way we do it when we print. We moisten the day before and wait for the moisture to make its way through the whole stack. We could never moisten it and print half an hour later. We don't know. He doesn't talk. He won't talk to me at all. We had a major fight years ago. A major fight. And he will never speak to me, and I will never speak to him again, ever. Too bad. That's the way it goes. I said something I shouldn't have said one day, and that was that. Someone says, I tried it, but it got all crinkly when you hung it up to dry. If it's really thin, boy, same thing, you know. If I was trying to do thin paper, it's really, really, really difficult. And I have no expertise here to pass on to you. Thin paper, we've just given up. We don't even try anymore because I don't know how to do it. If it goes, what did you say? It goes all crinkly. It could be it dries too fast. If it dries like within a half an hour, you're dead. It's going to go crinkly and stuff. You've got to dry it over a period of some hours, at least. And I saw that at Misawa-san's place. He has his sizing room, and it's a second floor. All around it, there's windows all around, sliding windows. And as he hung it up that day, he's looking at the weather, how dry it is, and he adjusts the space in the windows, just a little crack to let some breeze in, or at some seasons he must open it wider. You got to dry it as slow as you can without letting it get moldy. And then it dries smooth and flat. And then after it's a little bit, it's not perfectly smooth and flat, but then you bring it down off the clips and you press it. Not one by one in a press. You just stack them up and put some weights on, and they go nice and flat. But doing thin paper, I really have no magic advice for you. I don't know what to do. Common sense would say we don't need as much liquid as we have here. So if you've made this stuff wham, then yeah, you know. So really cut down the liquid, but then how do you get it nice and smooth if there's almost nothing left in the brush? I really don't know. I hope nobody's looking at us as master sizers with the keys to the universe here. We are stumbling through this, trying to figure out how to do it. Me. Speaking about thin paper too, I've got to remember to put another order in for Gampi paper. We've had a run on Gampi this last couple of weeks, and we're getting low. It's going to take a while to get a new order, so I'd better get an order in. Does it make any sense to switch the view? Let me switch it just for one go. I don't know if it makes any sense. Let's try. I think we're still getting bad video here. So let me just do one pass this way. We're not getting a frame rate, are we? No idea why. Yeah, email me, anything to help remember, to help me remind me. There's always something wrong with this stuff, you know? Something's wrong with the audio or something's wrong with this. There's just no way I get everything right every day. It just doesn't happen. We were joking the other day, call for my tech. The other thing about NHK next week, they're going to be here next week filming this stream next week. And she was asking me, as part of the preparation for the program, what they want to do is they want, you know, a typical day in the life of this foreigner living in Tokyo, blah, 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 blah. It's the same kind of program. So she asked me to outline my typical day. So I did. I just sat there and gave her a list of the stuff I do every day. And then the first thing on the list was the deal about taking the paper out. So she asked what that was about. So I showed her. We came up here and looked at the fridge door, and there's the paper inside and all the yellow dots and stuff. And she said, "Oh, we got to film that. We got to film that." I said, "Lady, this happens at 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, whatever." She says, "No, we got to film it. We got to film it." She says, "That's important. That shows your dedication." Whatever, I don't know. So I told her, "Look, what if we can do it in the afternoon and we can cover the window and make it look dark, and I can pretend to just wake up." She says, "No. We don't do that. The NHK rules are tight. You don't fake stuff anymore. They used to, and I've been part of that. I've been part of programs where they faked it, but they don't do that anymore." So as far as I know, she's going to give me the detailed schedule later. They're coming next Monday at around 5 o'clock. I'll probably leave the door open or something. We'll tell her, and she's going to see me stumble up the stairs or whatever. We'll set it up, and I'll look at the fridge door without my glasses, trying to figure out who's here. Take the paper out. Whatever. I didn't have the heart to tell her that at 5:30 in the morning with nobody else here, I'm not exactly dressed to kill. So we may have to fake that part of it. Nobody wants to see Dave in his underpants up here, so. It's a fairly common type of theme, actually. Over the years, back when I was doing the poets and stuff, I was on many programs of that type. It's an endless fascination for the Japanese people. How can they live in Japan? You can't speak Japanese. How do you manage? You're going to starve to death. This is the general mood of a Japanese person. Oh my God, how do these foreigners manage to live in a strange country? Because they themselves are thinking, a typical Japanese person, they're thinking, if I was living in Spain or something, oh my God, what would I do? I wouldn't be able to buy food. Where is the train station? And they put that general mood that they're thinking for themselves, they impress that on us. So it's an endless fascination for Japanese people, how we can actually survive in Japan. And whatever, those of you who have been here know, it's like, it's not a problem. It's okay. There's things you can't do if you don't know the language, but in general, this is a very congenial, easy to get around, easy to live place, if you've got the job and the place to live, the money and stuff. But they're always fascinated about this. On a swim, we asked about the swim. I told her my routine, and she said, "Swimming? You mean where?" I said, "At the fitness center." And she said, "We'd like to do that, but it'll be no." They're not even going to ask because they know what the answer will be. They absolutely know the answer will be no. There's no way that they're going to be able to take a TV camera inside a fitness center. There's just no way. The levels of permission required for that would stretch up to the moon. It would have to go to corporate headquarters, blah, blah, blah. They'd probably have to get all the other people in the pool to sign off. It's a non-starter. Japan these days is hugely paranoid about privacy. And taking the camera into the pool is an absolute non-starter. Yeah, they might film me going in and out. She may do that. I still haven't seen her script. She's done the interviews, and she's now preparing what they call daihon. She's preparing the not a script telling me what to say, but what's the word? It's an outline of the scenes and actions and things they want to show. It's a script of sorts, but not without dialogue. Screenplay? I don't know. What's the word? I don't know. So yeah, they might do that outside. I don't know what to do next Monday. They're going to come, and I don't know. I really don't know. It might be the TV block, I guess. Not so interesting for you guys, but I don't know. I showed her about that. I talked to her about it when she was here. I showed her the concept that the block on my desk is what we joke about as a TV block. And her first thought was, well, no, I want to see you do the real work, you know. And I said, you know, we explained why. But then I also thought of something else. That TV block on the bench downstairs is the first 8 cats print. And I went to the shop shelf and I pulled out the finished print and showed her. Lady, bonus, if we do filming of me carving this one, you can also show the finished print, something that is normally completely not possible. And she says, oh. So that may be it. Next Monday, you might be seeing a replay. You might be seeing me carve the first print in the 8 Cats series. Let's go back in time 2 years together. No idea. It's not organized yet. I'll think of something myself. My January carving project is coming closer. Surfing USA. Coming closer. The other thing too is the street cam. She is nervous about the street cam. So there probably will be no street cam. And that's okay, because what I will do, instead of having the outside camera, I will simply bring it in the room and I'll move it back and show the overall scene. So you'll be able to see those guys at work. She's really nervous about putting the camera outside and then showing it on their program. And I get it. There's rules and stuff like that. Dave can fool around and pretend not to know the rules, but an NHK producer can't. So it's okay. Again, that's all scheduled to be happening next Monday, 1 week from today. And I have to make sure we get a good show and tell. What should I do for show and tell next Monday? It's got to be something that's going to be really fun. The broadcast will be in November. It's somewhere around, not November, oh no, Dave, second month. It'll be in February. And I think she said February 28th was the target date for it. It'll be broadcast live on NHK World on the internet 3 times that day so that people in different time zones can catch it. And then it will move to their VOD channel. I'll let you know more when we get closer. But remember too, this whole program, it's not a program about me. It's a 30-minute program about somebody else. So the first 20 minutes are somebody, not me. There's a program about this person. I don't even know who it is. Then at the last 10 minutes of this program, they switch moods and they say, now, let's go and visit a typical foreigner living in Japan, blah, 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 blah. So it's only going to be, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes max. We're not talking about a documentary here. This is okay. I'm glad we switched to this brush, I've got to get used to it. Okay, last sheet. I said typical, whatever. It's a series. They just want to show foreigners living in Japan, And she said at the moment, because of the virus situation, they're constrained by this. Normally, they travel all over Japan. They want to get somebody in Hokkaido, somebody from Okinawa, somebody in this little village, all that kind of stuff. But the rule right now is no travel. So they're scrabbling around. They're only using people who live within reachable distance of the NHK head office in Shibuya. So it's basically just Tokyo right now. Okay, let's do our flip. I flipped yesterday and there was dirt on this thing and I hadn't noticed it, so I spoiled one sheet. I put it on top of the stack and I got dirt on one of the sheets. Yoisho. Middle of all the wires here. Okay, that's halfway. How's our time? 8:45. We are going to run late here. I don't know. So it's yoisho. Did I get it wrong? I may have got it wrong. I'm just fooling around. Yoisho, yoisho. You go to a matsuri and that's what you practice when they're all carrying the omikoshi. Yoisho, yoisho. Still light on that first sheet, I think. Not quite sure. That's better. This, the first sheet, both the front side and the back side, it may not have enough. So when I hang it up, I'm going to keep track of which is the first sheet there. And then when it goes out to the printer, I'm going to give a note to her. This particular group might be light on the size, don't panic. These are going to Chiharu-san in Nagano. Bit light. I'm missing questions here. I'm not sure. They're talking about blah 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 blah. Where are we? Oh, Mom's here. Good morning. Hello, hello. Good suggestion. My mother's making suggestions. Like what? Cut your hair, Dave, or something? Or I don't know. When my mother makes suggestions, I get nervous. What's happening here? When Mom makes suggestions, when Mom speaks, Dave listens. I don't know. Did I miss something there? I'm sorry. I don't know. There's such junk in this paper. Can we see this? Whoa. I don't know how close we can get here. Let's see if we can see this. That's inside the paper. It's showing right now because the paper is wet and it's become translucent. It's a huge, humongous piece of bark. Can't believe they missed it. Whatever, don't get started. It looks like an insect leg. You know, that might be what it is actually. That might be what it is. I'll find out X weeks from now when I'm doing surgery on the prints. It does look like an insect leg. Nothing I can do about it right now. One year. This wasn't from Iwano-san. This is before I started using Iwano-san's paper. 1 year, many, many years ago. More than 30 years ago. I got a batch of paper from a different supplier in that same town. And the whole batch, and I had bought whatever it was, 200 or 250 sheets, and we start printing them. I hadn't noticed. Well, I wasn't doing my own sizing back then. I hand them out for sizing. They come back. I cut the paper, moisten it. I'm making my 100 poets prints. And inspecting some of the finished prints, and there's like some little something here and there in the paper. And we look at it, and I didn't have my microscope back there, but I got a little binocular. I get a binocular. And the paper was full of dead mosquito larvae. They're called bofura in Japanese. There's a specific shape. They're a little long thing with a round circle at one end that's like the head. And the whole deck of paper was full of mosquito larvae. They're all dead at this point, of course. And I left it. You couldn't even buy it. They were pretty much invisible to the consumers. They wouldn't have seen it. Once you knew what you were looking for, you could hold it up to the light and see these things. So it must have, when they were making the paper, it was a summer batch of paper, I guess. And maybe they had the water there for 1 or 2 or 3 days. And whatever, mosquitoes would have loved that stuff, and away they go. It wasn't enough, like not a texture for the paper, just they were there. There was something, 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 something. And once you knew what to look for, you could see them all over the place. I let him know what had happened, and she apologized and apologized and apologized, but like nothing to do at that point. And that's there. I don't remember the date of this, but this is there in the historical record. If somebody has a set of my poet's prints, there are going to be 1 or 2 or 3 prints there, and this would be from the 2nd or 3rd or maybe the 4th set. I don't remember at this point, but there's a bunch of my prints that do have this in there. I've now put this on the record, and at some point somebody in the future is going to look at one of those print sets, and you can find them. They're in there. So that's how my series will be authenticated. This series must be a forgery. We don't have mosquito larvae in print number 17. This series, on the other hand, look at this examination of print number 17. The mosquito larva is present. This must be an authentic David Bull print from 1992. some biological watermarks. So I guess, well, but if you talk about it too much, then somebody will make forgeries with the larva inside. So I shouldn't have talked about it. I should have left this as a secret authentication method, something that the forgers, only we in the workshop know about, and that no potential forgers would know about. I've spoiled it now. If I hadn't talked about this, I could have kept it as an in-house authentication method that only we know about. I've now let the cat out of the bag. Like anybody's gonna forge those things. My God, those early poets prints were so bad. Oh God, I don't want to talk about them. Have I had any of my stuff forged before? There's no reason to do that. We still sell all the prints I made. I don't make limited editions or anything. There's no reason for anybody to forge our stuff. Occasionally, now and then, some of my old poets prints, they do come up in the used market here in Jimbocho. Yamada Shoten, they have them kind of all the time. The people who bought them from me back in the 1980s and 1990s, some of them were 50, 60, 70-year-old people. They've passed away, and their kids or their grandchildren have put this stuff in the market. And it doesn't bring high prices. Of course it doesn't. I'm not famous or whatever in any way. So yeah, if you're hanging around Yamada Shoten, if you're curious, you could write to them. Do you have any of those 100 Poets by Dave Cole? They might say, yeah, we got some here somewhere. And they're not expensive. You won't see too many on eBay because most of my collectors in those years were Japanese people. That Poets series, there were some that went overseas, but not too many. They were collected for the most part by people here in Japan who were fans of the poetry. So you don't see them on eBay very much at all. There's also the other factor, not too much of my stuff comes on to the secondary market because most of the people who have collected my stuff collected it because they like it, they want it. And they're not going to sell it. So this series I made, The Beauty of the Japanese Print or the Surimono albums, no one's going to sell those. What's this? An effective way of raising prices is to die. Yeah, well, whatever. I know. That's what I said. We're not really concerned too much about my price in the aftermarket. So, in the afterlife. I'm not part of the art world. Those things just don't have any relevance to my own work, you know. Soak in, soak in. I put a bit too much. Soak, soak, soak. If I put the next sheet on while there's still liquid here, it screws it up. Soak in, you are now soaked. We're good to go. Okay, we're getting there. What do we got left? Maybe 7 or 8 sheets left, not sure. 7 or 8 or 9, we're okay. We're hanging in. I wasn't speaking Japanese there, I was speaking English. Soak, soak, as in soak in. more insect legs, maybe they're the same shape. It could be, you know, it could be that a cockroach died in that basket, dissolved, and he scooped out the bits that he could see and there were legs left over. It's quite possible. It's a very, very old building. A roach could have just, you know, died and fallen in there. And it looks like, here's another one here, it looks like a piece of an insect leg. It's quite possible. It's even, you know, possible that when that happened, Iwano-san might have seen it. You know, he's sitting there at the vat, he's dipping, and then an insect comes around and falls in. He scoops out what he can scoop out, but then what are you going to do? You can't throw away $1,000 worth of your mix. You just keep going. There's nothing else to do, you know. It's natural product. So I'm not upset about this. It's okay, you know. We recognize that it's a natural product and none of it's going to be perfect. I'm grumpy about it recently because I think that there's too much garbage in there. But I recognize those people are struggling. They are really, really struggling with time and materials and everything. So I'm frustrated by this, but I'm not, you know, yelling and screaming about it. And it's nothing, I don't even talk to him about it anymore. There's nothing I can say. You know, if I phoned him up or if I visited and said, I know the recent paper, there's nothing he can do about it. It's just going to hurt the relationship. We know why this is happening. Okay, 2 sheets left, and then we're going to make the big move to next door. How's our time? After 9 o'clock. We'll see. We'll just play it by ear here and see how it goes. Whether we run late or whatever, we'll just see how it goes. And last year, this is the one that was spoiled for me last night because I had put the cover on it. This one came up all dirty. I'm being a bit more careful today. I wiped that thing, but it had dirt on it. The flipping table had dirt, and I spoiled one sheet last night because of it. Okay, here's our last stroke of the day. Brush into hot water. Cover it up. Leave the heater on. The glue is still here. If I turn the heater off now, it'll congeal. I'll come back and clean up later. And now we make our move to the next room. The mods can explain what's going on. I'll just get started and do this. The rest of you can explain what's going to be happening. we are going to lose our spare camera. Which is which one? Our spare camera, the second camera. Okay, second camera is going down. It's not really doing anything for us anyway today. Let's take that one down. Okay, the main camera is going to be unplugged, but it's got a battery. It may survive this. Let's see. Microphone. Ethernet cable. Ethernet cable's clear. Microphone connected. Let's try this. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Here we go. Oops, right there. The mic is stuck on the computer stand. There's no way this is going to work. I just don't have enough hands. There's no way this is going to work. Give me a break. Drop frame 0. It's okay. Now I put it right on top of the stack of paper. Come on, get off there. Hi, 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 hi. No way. If we get through this without dropping the stream, it'll be a miracle. Did we make it? I don't know. Did we make it? We actually made it. Look at that. Incredible. Incredible. Now let's get a decent scene here. Okay. Tony. Chat text. Text size. Chat appearance. Text size max. Now we can see you. Let's get the camera set. Okay, what's going to be happening up there? In fact, that's yesterday's paper. We were sizing yesterday. I was sizing yesterday. That's left over from yesterday. It's now dry. We're just going to add our group to that. It's moved. Oh. This stream brought to you by Oh, I need a tech. Anthony, we need a tech. Can't be helped. Okay, yesterday's paper. Here's yesterday's paper. It's of course dry. This is what I was saying. Look at this. It dried. I would really want to dry it slower. It's putty putty. It's too crisp. It's too hard, and it's got these. You know, it doesn't dry flat. And I tried. We shrouded it. We put a mister at the bottom, and still, Kubota-san is not going to be happy. Do what we can. Okay, let's get going. I totally can't see the chat here. And our patented, not patented, 3 grip. Suge-san, 大丈夫？まだ残ってますか？はい、大丈夫です。OK。僕はあと20分ぐらいですね。あ、全然問題ない。OK。OK。Sorry for lack of communication here. that particular defect in the paper there, that was right at the end, and almost certainly that's not going to be in the part of the paper we'll be using. The selvage areas, what we call the mimi in Japanese, the ears of the paper, that will be trimmed off. The other leg we saw, or whatever it was, if it was a leg, whatever, that's right in the middle, and that will be a problem for that particular sheet. Luckily that defect is really visible, and I will let it go through, and when she does the paper moistening, she will see it, because it will as she moistens the paper, it will become visible. And she'll switch that sheet to the front of her stack, so she'll use it for the tests. So there's no way that major leg is going to make its way through into a print, I think. Trimmed edges, they're suitable for some kinds of woodblock prints, but for the small prints that we're making, these are going to be in the Woodblock Pilgrimage series. For small prints, it's just not possible. You can't have a little tiny print with natural edges all the way around. Of course not. So natural edges only make sense when the prints are very large. So all those small prints for us, they will be trimmed out of the middle of this sheet. It's prints like larger Shinhanga prints and stuff. If you buy the correct size paper, you can end up with natural on 3 sides or so. But for our little prints, no way, there's no natural edges on them. Oh no, it's no secret, the Woodblock Pilgrimage series, they're all referenced from Ghibli anime. I mean, you can talk about that, it's no big deal. The first one is obviously Spirited Away, the famous old inn. This is neither something secret, nor is there any copyright inherent in that kind of a thing. So we could, on our website, we could have listed up all the locations. It's okay. There's nothing evil about. Okay, here we are. How am I going to do this? It's the wrong way around. Etone. That's face down. That's face up. Okay, let me flip this over. Let's flip 2 over. And it might be a bit hard for me to show you this, so I don't know if I can get the right. My arm's going to be in the way. Are we there? Is it going to focus? I don't know. No idea. That's an insect leg. Absolutely, that's an insect leg. That's a roach, the show. No wildlife was harmed in the making of this documentary video. Much. So any harm done to that wildlife happened a long, long time ago. So I don't think I can hang my hat on that one. So. I can imagine the scene, you know. He's got this huge vat, and above it there's beams, you know. You can imagine this cockroach walking across and looking down. What's going on down there? Oop, slip, ah, splash. You can see the scene, you know. He's scooping the paper up, and there's this splash as this little black thing falls out of the sky. I don't know. Or it could have been, what's more likely is they've got the beater. They've got their Hollander beater. The paper goes round and round and round. They dry it, drain it, get it ready, dry it, drain it. And there's some cockroach sleeping in this beater one night. Then all of a sudden water starts to pour in and it drowns in there. And it gets beaten as the thing goes round. So I don't know. John Ames, you're right. I don't think I want that in our next Patreon print, but yeah, whatever. Actually, I got to get John started on the next group. Last year I forgot. I didn't tell him till like May or something. And the whole Patreon system was mucked up last year because I was late talking to John. And it's still late. The December Patreon prints, Teiko-san's got them now. She's packaging them. But they should have gone in December, and now they're going to go in January and February and March. I've got to get John started on the next group. Okay, 2 sheets left, the last hang. Here we go. What's our time? 9:25. Well, we're going to have a quick, sharp, short show and tell. Okay, let's shroud it up. Okay, how are we going to do this? Let's see. Okay, let's try this. Earthquake coming. Okay, what we've done there. Now we're of course up there. That's yesterday's paper up there still, and then today's paper has been added. It's all shrouded. Let me turn this so I can see the chat. Okay, for show and tell, as I said, we had 2 things. We have a new item coming in. It's now 9:27. Let's save this for the next stream. It's not green tape, unfortunately, it's brown tape. We'll save the new item for next time. I want to recap the prints we looked at last time because we have learned a few things about the prints that came in the last show and tell. I got cards and letters. 2 people wrote in, both people who have some knowledge of the prints that I showed. And they had more knowledge than me. Actually, they had time. I just opened them on stream. But those people had time then to look at the video. The Mister is on. It's still there. It's running. The Mister is on as we speak. Let me turn the chat size back down to normal. Okay. Okay, we got a few minutes here. We get cards and letters about this. Let me find the prints that we looked at last time. Not those, not those, not those. Let me just bring them out again here. Here we are. Okay. Excuse me. First one first. We looked at this one. It had originally a silver moon on the back. And I was able to read, it was Hokke. And Hokke it is indeed, and we have found a link to the original. Let me jump over to my copy paste section here. Twitch notes. We paste this link in. And this is fun. This is to a museum in America. And this is an example of absolutely how not to shoot pictures Here we go. Okay, did that come through? Oh, great. Karen, good. You beat me to it. Thank you. I should have just asked. So this print is a known thing. There seems to be 2 or 3 copies in museums around the world. And this is a Chinese emperor, and he's meeting his concubine for the first time. We don't know the backstory. But look at the photograph they've done on that website. The curators in that museum, I'm sure, know how to handle a print, know how to look at a print, and know how to show all the features of the paper. But they give it to a photographer who his message was to show the lines. He erased the paper, he erased everything. This is why we try and take the pictures ourselves under raking light. Okay, that was the first one. I got it right with the authentication, and we know what this is. And it's I think it's 1822. So this is 199 years old, the sheet I am holding in my hands right now. It's 199 years old. And this is one of the oldest prints we have now, and it's going to be very much treasured. The second one, I could not read during the stream. I was not able to read the designer's name. I can now, because it's been pointed out to me that this is Shinsai. And we already have some prints by Shinsai in our collection. What's his name? I don't remember his family name. And we have a link also to this one. This is in the Art Institute of Chicago, and this one is properly photographed. This looks good. Maybe Karen has already put this in here. I'm sorry, I don't know. This one is the Art Institute of Chicago, and they have a really, really nice copy. Our copy, of course, has been blurred and faded. It's been handled just simply too much. And learning from the website there is this is from a series of 5, and it's called Go Shiki no Uchi. Go 5 Shiki Colors. It's the name of the set. 5 Colors is the name of the set, and it's no Uchi, one taken from the middle of that set. And this is the one entitled Ki, which is the kanji for yellow. So it's a series of prints that feature 5 colors. I've seen others. One is white, one is red, one is yellow. This is the one for yellow. And I guess way back when, perhaps this boy's kimono, which sort of looks like a tan color, may actually have been yellow. I don't know. And again, our copy is faded beyond belief. This is really not a treasure because it's in such bad condition, but I don't care. For $10 or whatever it costs me, I'm happy to have a print again from the 1820s. And the copy in Chicago, I don't even see any yellow there at all, so I don't know. That's clear. The kanji is very clear. It says yellow, and perhaps it's more subtle than we foreigners get. Perhaps the twig and the flower that this boy is showing the lady, this is perhaps a flower that's famous for its yellow tone. I don't know. The other one is the one that in the emails the reading also. I tried to read it, and I could read the second character, which is te, and I thought it might have been gakute. It's not. It's 3 characters, and now that I know, I can read it. It's go, 5, ko, lake or pond, and te. And this is gokote. It's another one of Hokusai's pupils who did surimono design. His partner, Harunobu Gakute, was very much more famous, but this guy in the background, gokote. And what I learned about this from the 2 people who wrote to me was something interesting. They looked around the internet, they looked in a bunch of reference books that they have on their shelves, and it seems that this is an unknown surimono, previously unknown. There is no known copy in any museum or in any private collection among everything that is documented. It's not a series title, it's a single print, and it could be that this is so far an absolute unique print from the 1820s with no other copies known. We're going to try and find out. I've already photographed it yesterday. We're going to put it in the collection. We're going to Insta it. We're going to get the word out. And people who have surimono collections, and I don't want to hear any answers. I don't want someone to say, yeah, I got one of those. I don't want to hear that. But it could be that this really is something really, really special. The thing about these surimono, they were all made in very, very low number of copies. They could be 20 sheets, 50 sheets, 100 sheets. We don't really know. They were made on commission by poetry groups for distribution among the group and for presentation to other poetry groups. And once that initial batch of 50 or 100 was made, the blocks went in the stove, and that was the end of it. It looks like a torn piece of paper right now. I took some photographs yesterday, and I will get a link up as soon as I can. It's too bad about her face. It's Komachi. It seems to the lady Komachi, and she's in calligraphy. And it doesn't show in the one I'm holding here right now, but I learned about this when I took the photograph. The table, there's embossing here and there on the print, and the table has debossing. The pattern on the table is vertical embossing instead of impressed embossing. And I'm sorry, in the light in this terrible room today, we're standing here, we can't see it. But I'll get this online within a few days, and by the time the next stream comes, I will have a link for everybody, and we can have a look at this carefully. And we're going to keep this, of course. I'm not going to sell this, my God. And it's no big deal. It's a niche thing, but to own a unique copy of a print from the Edo era, 1820, that's sort of, and the fact that it only cost $10, that's sort of an extra thing. But one thing, before we close off, there is one thing. I made a big mistake by talking about these last week. I made a big mistake by talking about these. I showed a link to a Yahoo auction page, and I should have kept it under my hat, because he has more. And they came up last night on an auction, and I wasn't alone. No more $10 bargains. Can't be helped. I should have just kept quiet. I didn't know. Stay tuned. We have something. Let's save those. Let's save those for the NHK stream next Monday. That'll be fun. Okay, I gotta get out of here. I've got a video Suga-san. I've got to get this room sealed up tight so they don't dry. I gotta wash my brush. I got a million things to do. I am out of here right now. It's Monday. I'll see you 3 more days from now. Thursday morning, Wednesday night for most of you, then again Saturday, and then again Monday. Oh, that reminds me. Next Saturday also, special guest. New special guest. A guest you have not met before. That's scheduled for next Saturday, and next Monday is TV. Okay, I have got to get out of here. Thank you so much for participating in these things. And there's nothing to show. There's no outside view to show. Let's just zoom in on Mr. Hokke. The Chinese emperor meets his concubine. We don't want to know the backstory, do we? We don't want to know the backstory. Okay, thanks very much. Bye for now. See you next time. My God, I got through it without dropping the frames. Thank you.